Thank you, Dr. Hoff. And to all, welcome to Rivier College. To Sister Suzanne Beret, Chair of the Corporation and Provincial Superior of the Sisters of the Presentation of Mary. Of course, to Dr. Hoff, Chair of the Rivier College Board of Trustees, and to all trustees and members of the corporation. Thank you for the trust you have placed in me as the 12th president of Rivier College. I am fortunate to have inherited not only an institution with deep roots and an abiding mission, but also an institution with vibrant and aspirational goals for the future. In a special way, I wish to acknowledge the words of Father Jonathan D. Felice during his homily this morning. Words of wisdom born from experience and prayer, a perfect combination. Thank you, Father Jonathan. To Bishop John McCormick, Bishop of the Diocese of Manchester, and to the Deus Party, thank you all for the wonderful and personalized greetings that you bring to us today. To distinguished delegates, representatives of higher education, business leaders, we are delighted to welcome you. And a special word to the faculty, the administration, and the staff of Rivier, who in these very short 100 days have made me part of your history, of our future. I thank you very, very sincerely for the many kindnesses, the many greetings, and your extraordinary sense of community. Thank you all. To Sister Lorraine McGrew, to Sister Rose Yeager, to my IHM sisters, friends, longtime mentors, and faithful witness to our charism, thank you for journeying to New Hampshire to share this day with me, and as we will say, to share all days in the future. In a special way, I am delighted to welcome my brother John and my sister Mary and Meg. Perhaps you met them during the luncheon. They tend to fill up a room. They know of your gracious welcome and sense of pride. And today you can meet them in person and you can enjoy their energy, their humor, and our family spirit. To my friends and colleagues from Immaculata University, Mount St. Mary's University, Seton Hall University, and Anna Maria College, welcome. It's wonderful to have you here. You remind us of the extensive contributions of Catholic higher education to the American narrative. And I'm grateful for the many ways that you have enriched my experiences of life and leadership. We are privileged to have with us 3 former presidents, individuals to whom this community owes a debt of gratitude, pardon the pun, and those who I would wish to acknowledge today, asking them to rise: Sister Jean Pronow, Sister Lucille Thibodeau, and Dr. William Barrow. Please rise. In August of this past year, I was very privileged to travel to Manchester to meet with a sister who was celebrating her 99th birthday. And did she have stories to tell me? But I was humbled in her presence, for Sister Adrienne Beauregard served as a direct collaborator with Sister Madeleine of Jesus. Sister Adrienne began her service here at Rivier in 1942 and served in positions of finance and administration for 63 years. Sister Adrienne's life was that of a master builder. Confirming our debt of gratitude to Sister Adrienne, to the founding sisters of Rivier College, and to all the sisters of the Presentation of Mary, I would ask this assembly to rise. For many institutions, these acknowledgments would be perfunctory. However, at Rivier, they represent a tangible reality of a college community firmly grounded in its history, rooted in mission, and animated by an integrated learning and community engagement. As we've heard today, a number of times, the core mission of the college, transforming hearts and minds to serve the world, spans both our history and our future and extends beyond a marketing slogan or a brand. Transforming hearts and minds to serve the world is part of the Rivier DNA, which has burst forth from the founding spirit of Blessed Anne Marie, is actualized in the truly American vision of Sister Madeleine, and is made ever new in the life stories of our students. To remind ourselves and to enlighten our many visitors, I am privileged to use this occasion to reflect on the remarkable, even sacred stories of Rivier. For knowing our history will lead us ever more confidently and boldly into the future. The following three stories highlight the ever-essential foundation for transformation. A vision rooted in abiding faith and brought to life through imagination, through courage, and yes, through hard work. The first story is that of Anne-Marie Rivier, who founded the Sisters of the Presentation of Mary in southern France, under the lingering shadows of the French Revolution. She responded to an interior call and the need of French children for an education which inspired both the heart and the mind. Physically challenged from an early age and rejected for health reasons by a more established community, Sister Anne-Marie's words pierce to the heart of the matter. She said, "Since I had nothing, I always thought that God would do everything." And God did give the increase, and the sisters expanded rapidly across France, and in 1853 crossed the Atlantic to the province of Quebec. 20 years later, they journeyed with the French-Canadian mill workers to the hills of Glen Falls, New York, Island Pond, Vermont, and Berlin, New Hampshire. Hudson would soon follow with the establishment of Presentation of Mary Academy in 1926, which would serve as the first home for the college. The second story highlights the life and the vision of Rivier's founder, Sister Madeleine of Jesus. Sister Madeleine was born Laura Beatrice Getty in 1883 in Danielson, Connecticut, and educated in local public and parochial schools. Lauren met the sisters of the presentation in boarding school, and not unusual for the day, entered religious life at the age of 19. Her intellect, organization, and passion for education were quickly placed at the service of her community. Her days were full of promise as she embraced the work of educator and director of studies, both in New England and St. Hyacinthe, Quebec. Interspersed in this active educational ministry were correspondence courses, summer study, and residency years at the Catholic University of America. Sister Madeline's crowning research achievement occurred in 1931 when she was awarded a PhD in classics and comparative philology. Her dissertation, entitled The Life of North Africans as Revealed in the Sermons of St. Augustine, won both national and international recognition from the scholars of her day. Sister lived the educational vision expressed as a goal in the first college catalog: to impart to its students a thorough intellectual education and a sound moral training to fit women for true leadership. The college opened its doors in 1933, a time when the nation and the world were firmly anchored in the depths of the Great Depression. Nonetheless, Sister Madeline, imbued with the bold spirit of Sister Anne Marie, responded to the aspirations of area families. They wished their daughters to take their place as women of faith and conviction, liberally educated, and professionally accomplished. You can well appreciate that the struggles and sacrifices of this small community were many. And yet, their success was unquestioned. The college outgrew its space, buying the first of many parcels along South Main Street in 1941. While Sister Madeline would take leave of the college in 1946, her memory was indelible in the minds of her collaborators and many students. Upon Sister Madeline's death in 1965, one of her students reflected, "Her death brought home the realization that Rivier was someone's personal dream. The dream of a woman of vitality, of warmth, and tremendous foresight, who was idealistic enough to envision a college where there was none, and forceful enough to nurture it into existence." And for our third story. This story represents the varied lives of our many students. Stephen Bentikasami came to the United States at the age of 14 from the Latin American nation of Guyana. With the encouragement of his parents, he left a village of about 500, a home without running water, and an educational system devoid of resources. He arrived in New York City and stayed with his brother and attended John Adams High School in Queens. The journey has been long and challenging, and Stephen is now a junior at Rivier, majoring in criminal justice. For many of our students, the end of a class day marks the beginning of a work day. And Stephen is serving as an intern at the National Department of Corrections. He works at the Rivier College Art Gallery, and he holds 2 part-time jobs. As I've come to know Stephen, I'm impressed by his gratitude for his high school teachers and counselors, and for the faculty and staff of Rivier who have supported his efforts in the classroom and beyond. His goal is to serve as a case manager, providing support and referral services to those in need. In the spirit of Sister Anne Marie and Sister Madeline, Stephen continues the Rivier legacy with a vision rooted in faith and brought to life through imagination, courage, and yes, hard work. Like many other of our students, Stephen's story touches the heart of mission. In his own words, "I have a burning desire to better my life and to help others bury theirs." Stephen, may I ask you to rise and be acknowledged on all of our students. Blessed Anne Marie, Sister Madeline, and Stephen share 3 different centuries, 3 different cultures, 3 different continents. Yet, in a unique way, each encountered social strife and economic dislocation. For Mother Riviere, it was the ravages of the French Revolution. For Sister Madeline, it was the flaring tension within New England's Franco-American community. And for Stephen, it was a lack of opportunity. They overcame the limits of their environments, creating something new and perduring, with the intrinsic belief that education is the foundation and the gateway for faith, life, and learning. Today, we begin a 4th story as we look to Riviere's future. Our work flows from a mission and a vision of transforming hearts and minds to serve the world. And we do that in 3 distinctive ways. First, a Catholic intellectual tradition that embraces faith and reason and values the life of the mind beyond simple productivity. Second, a social tradition that asks and answers, "Who is my neighbor?" embracing the spirit of Catholic social thought articulated in Gaudium et Spes, in which the joys and hopes, the griefs and anxieties of this age are shared and alleviated. Riviere is a place where nothing genuinely human fails to raise an echo in our hearts. And third, we bring to our life and work a spiritual tradition, confident in the indwelling presence of God at work within us and among us, a place where faith matters, and each journey of personal faith is respected. Riviere is a place where one can find God in all things. As a community, we also value the expanded access of programs and services that mirrors the needs of this region. Liberal and professional education, undergraduate and graduate offerings, including a doctoral program, classroom and online program delivery. This continuing development and expansion is consistent with the thought of Blessed John Henry Newman. He was the author of The Idea of the University, and so it was his idea first. John Newman told us, "Growth is the only evidence of life." As we look forward to the growth of Riviere, we look first at our academic distinction. It is to embrace who we are, a new American college that deeply values liberal learning while at the same time preparing students for professional practice. By celebrating who we are, we can more easily envision the more to come, creating that blend of programs that provides entry not only to a profession, but awakens in our students a passion, a vocation, which will sustain their hearts and minds. Our work continues through the 7 themes of the strategic plan. They emanate from mission, and we commit ourselves to delivering on their promise. The community at Rivier knows them well. It is a focus on our academic distinction, a creative approach to student leadership, competitive facilities, technology and environment, global engagement, the ever-present themes of marketing and branding, philanthropy, financial stewardship, and institutional effectiveness. Together, as we build out the strategic plan, we will continue to focus and reflect on the stories of our history, and we will embrace a global sense of our future. As we come to the conclusion of a wonderful inaugural day, supported, prepared for, embraced by so many across this Rivier community, it can only be my prayer, my thoughts, my efforts, that I join with you, that we may be ever transformed by the renewal of our hearts and minds, acting boldly in service to the world. Thank you.